Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. It takes more than looks. The CarltonUrquelle Principle. Now check it out, right? So I did the video yesterday, talking about, don't try so hard if you're handsome. I forget the exact title. And once I put them up, that's it. But and it's interesting how many men responded. I mean, that was a big video. That was a big video. I thought it'd be just average and everything. Shoot, dudes were getting into it and they were sharing their testimony and everything. And it just goes to prove the principle I've always said. Yeah, looks are a good bait, but it takes more. And indeed, despite what some people think, there are non-select men who a woman will look at and say is handsome or at least cute. Because even within that looks thing, women, they can look at a guy and say, oh yeah, he looks good, and keep walking. She don't feel anything. She don't feel that buzz and everything. And then look at somebody else who, a consensus might say this person don't look as good as that last person. But, all the women, they dripping and stuff. They be taking off their panties talking about, I won't be needing these. So it's a lot more to it. Now, I thought about it, and I'm going to tell you what, and this is why I always promote. See, I don't read books or anything or listen to content creators. I'm out there in the streets. And I actually talk with people. And, I talk with women and stuff. Now, I think I had a detractor saying, well, why would a woman tell us one thing and him something different? Dude, I grew up in an environment where I had to read people. In fact, I had to do that professionally. Yeah, look up stuff about profilers. So anyway, the thing was, well, the thing is, yeah, a man could look physically attractive and still be non-select. He could still be non-select. He could still be a nerd. Remember, I've mentioned countless times where I had a coworker who looked like Clint Eastwood with glasses. And he was pretty much an incel. So it's like, no, it still takes more. Yeah, somebody will look. A woman will look. But how she grades you is something different. Like I said, check out the link I have to an article by a woman rating different types of men. In fact, I might have two articles in there. Now, the CarltonUrquelle Principle. What's that? Now, I was thinking about that because I knew a guy back in the day. Well, we still Facebook friends. I hadn't talked to him in ages, though. And his nickname was Carlton. Now, people know about Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and stuff, and he was just a total nerd. He was just a total nerd, corny and everything. But if you're going to look at him, if you think about it, shoot, in real life, dude got a fine wife and everything. He has some stardom and all of that. But the character he played didn't come off as cool or anything like that. And really, that type wouldn't turn on anybody in the real world. See, that's the thing. Okay, you can look a certain way, but if you don't have that vibe, you don't have the intangibles, that coolness, that swag, that drip and all of that, well, it don't mean anything. Now, the friend I was talking about, the way he got the name Carlton was kind of funny, and that's what made me think about it. Because dude was, well, back when I talked with him, like actually had a conversation with him, dude was still a virgin. And this is a dude knowing him and knowing some women who see him, they were like, yeah, he handsome. They were like, yeah, he handsome and all of that. And the dude was also a jock. Now, he got the name Carlton because, he would play pickup basketball. And that dude had a serious drive to the back, like serious drive. You get him out on a break, that's pretty much an automatic score. He could run ball with some D1 level players. D1 basketball level players. That's how good he was. So sometimes the crew would play at some basketball courts like that were, shall we say, street. And it was a kid there. He was like, when they choose and he wasn't the last pick, they'd be like, oh, I want Carlton. Because he could play. That dude could play. It's like, man. So I thought about that. Now, this is a dude, like I said, women looked at him and said he was handsome. But, they weren't feeling him enough to give him the sex. Because he had some other stuff he needed to work on. Trust me, I tried working on it. I mean, dude, he could even have what you call a mouthpiece. At least for having a conversation. So I thought about that. So it's like you got some men out there who you would look at, it's like, why he having trouble? And see, one issue with that is a lot of guys who swear it's all about looks are the ones who don't have them. And look, let's just be real with it. Because they not in that world. They from the outside looking in. Say, you don't know what this... Are you in the bedroom with this dude? If this dude telling you, like he's, women calling him handsome, but he's still having trouble, that's his world. Regardless of what you think, because ultimately, you're not a woman. But you get guys on the outside, they think this is what's happening. They think, you got some guys thinking, if I get plastic surgery or something. And I'll tell them straight up, no, unless you drastically change your personality. Women look at guys just handsome all the time because they still going to be looking at your clothing. They're going to look at your body language. All that ain't going to change because you got a face. Like I said, there's some non-select dudes out there. If you look at them just in the face, even women will say, give them at least cute. So, that's one thing. That's one thing. You're not in that world. So, like in that last video, I mean, these are the men saying it. I didn't, shit. It's one thing for me to point out something, but these guys, you going to tell me all these guys are capping? All of them are capping? And they telling you straight up. Or what they going through. Now, yeah, in general, yeah, that's a great bait, but you still got to close the deal. And, I call it the CarltonUrquelle Principle. That's a classic one. That's a classic one right there, because anybody who watched Family Matters, there was the classic when Stephen Urkel became Stephen Urquelle. I even did a video on it. On this channel. And I'll present that, and I'll present the original clip from Family Matters. What changed? His genetics didn't change. All he did was change up. All he did was become cool. That's all he did. If you think about it, he started walking differently, carrying himself differently, interacting differently. So one didn't turn the woman on, the girl on, or girls on, and the other one did. See, you understand that. It's more to it. I'll be real with you. I wish it was that simple. Seriously. I wish it was that simple. In fact, I'll put it like this, just because I don't tell y'all everything I do, but I just say I've been in position to be around some young men on the autism spectrum, right? Because like I said, I keep some stuff to myself, like business-wise and stuff, especially a few years ago. There were a couple, if you saw them and stuff, you could say, oh, shoot, they got those models feature, but they ain't had that conversation or anything. They guys had some social skills things. See, it's a lot more to it. And see, a lot of guys got to understand it. And like I said, they on the outside looking in. But then, you're going to say, you can't tell them, how their lives are. They the ones like going to nights without any woman in their bed or something. Seriously. That's why I say it takes more. Now, yes, it's a great bait. And I highly recommend you fix up as much as possible. But then when you get over there, what you going to say to the woman? What do I always say? Because women have said that. He was all right till he opened his mouth. Indeed, some women will look at a man, even if he kind of cool, and they'll say, you know what, you handsome, but you're not sexy. Because those are two different things. A woman can look at a guy and say he handsome and everything, and he could have money. Because I'm going to tell you what, because you know how people talk about like incel types and stuff, thinking they all just some guys who living in some basement playing video games. You got a large number of men, a significant number of men who got corporate jobs and they fix themselves up. I mean, they at least, what a content creator, Nicole Michelle said, call them husband cute. I mean, they ain't bad looking, but they don't have the social things. They ain't turning the women on, and that's a significant thing. That's why I call it that CarltonUrquelle effect. You got to have more. You can't just park on one thing. And like I said, it's always due to they really ain't in that world. They not in that world. See, let me jump on that. A lot of let's just be real. A lot of guys are on the outside looking in. Someone who passed, who used to comment on here, may rest in peace, Player Supreme, first talked about that. A lot of these guys on the outside, but they don't see everything going on. You know, they looking at the man's face. Let's just be real. They looking at the man's face and thinking, oh yeah, he's getting all these women. The women loving him for his face. But if you talk with the like say there's one guy and a bunch of guys saying, yeah, he get all these women. It must be his face. It must be his face, right, or something. And if you talk to the women that he actually fucked, they'll be like, nah, he nasty with a big dick. It's just like, seriously, yeah, he look all right, but he's nasty with a big dick. And this is how women think. He bold. He know how to talk that shit that they is. All of that. You got to have all of that. Now, that's why even when I talk about body game, what do I always say? That's the foundation. And it turns them on. It turns them on in a primal way. But you got to still complete the circuit. You still got to talk to him. You still got to approach. Plenty of times a woman will look at a guy, think he handsome and all that, and they ain't going to approach him directly. They might do some indirect shit if they get an opening. But most of the time, the man still got to approach. Even when in that choosing signal, cold approach thing, you got to approach regardless. Even if she giving signals, shoot, she might wave a flag, she might have a sign up say approach me. You still got to do it. So there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff. That's why I'm gonna tell you what, a lot of men who've even been called handsome, they get confused because they'll listen to other guys or something and think that's all they need. It was like, no, you still gotta have some level of aggression and shit, and I told the story, which I have no fear of talking about, because look, like I said, look, I don't have a problem talking about when I've been rejected and when I blew it. One to teach y'all, but anybody, I don't care if there's a dating coach or whatever they want to call themselves, say they ain't got some rejections, they lying. As soon as somebody's saying, in fact, that's how you should tell if you've been rejected. If they like, no, I ain't been, I got all this, they lying. Everybody been rejected. So I remember one time, and I told y'all the story. This woman, she was attracted and went over a place, but I was too passive. And she was doing little stuff. I wasn't making a move. And this was actually before I got into body game and learned some secrets from some sex workers. Learned a perspective from a sex worker. And I'm sitting there and doing all that. I'll never forget what she did. She actually sat on my lap, gave me a kiss on my gave me a peck and said, most we can be as friends. And then she was from the Bahamas. This other dude from the Bahamas said, man, you gotta be aggressive. See, there's a lot of stuff in there. Learn from that lesson. Don't make that same mistake. You got some fine ass woman dancing around you sitting there being chill. You still gotta make the move. And you still gotta have more. That other stuff is just window dressing. Shoot, women want to know. They want to know you got that attitude going to tear them up. You still gotta have a certain amount of coolness to you. Shoot, like I said, there's more non-select men who a woman will look at and say he's handsome. They will look at it and say he's handsome. Even got a good body build, but because they don't have that mindset, they being like Carlton, right? They being like Carlton, being on that nerdy thing. They being like Steve Urkel, just totally dorky. And like I said, all he did was just change his vibe. That's all he did. So that's the thing. It takes more. I mean, and that's just a reality. And to be clear, because every now and then I'll see something from a detractor who got selective hearing and quite frankly stupid as shit, and I would tell them to their face. I ain't never say it did. I've always said looks matter, but I say that's the bait. And really, I'm gonna tell you how deep that thing is. You get some women who will go for a guy they call ugly sexy. That still looks. So it definitely matters no matter what. If they take it in consideration, it matters. But that's just the initial. That's the initial bait. You still got to be able to talk that shit in their ears. You still got to be able to do that. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts and everything. You still got to be able to do certain things, talk. You still got to carry yourself a certain way. You still got to have some swag. Shit. You still better have that drip on or something. Because women look at see, guys don't understand one basic. A lot of men. See, we'll look at just a woman's looks and she can wear a potato sack and shit and want to fuck. Shit, I personally know a woman now, man, she don't even dress stylish and shoot. Just a good friend and stuff, and she got guys trying to holler at her. You know? But the thing is, that's us. Women are different. They look at shit you ain't even thinking about. Understand that. They look at the whole picture. That's why I said in the Game Kings documentary video, and I'm gonna put that in the description box. In the Game Kings documentary video, I even said there's a clip Mr. Carlton included in the trailer where I said a good pair of shoes get your dick sucked. Now, let me give some game with that, because I had some women actually explain that shit to me. Because at first I just went with it, but they said, yeah, they be looking at your shoe size and everything. And, you know, women, they think if you got a certain size shoe, yeah, that corresponds to your dick. And just to be clear, dudes ain't walking around with their dicks out. So if a woman, that's how deep it is. Women, shoot, they looking at your damn print. They trying to say, oh, shoot, oh, size 13 shoe? Oh, shit. And they still got to look good, you know? Women, that's just their nature. They, look, let me just say something real quick, because, you know, I'm in a car video, I'm flowing. Women ain't that complicated. They let non-select dudes think they complicated and they got to do all this shit. Women are simple creatures, man. Shit. All you need to do is be shiny for them. Seriously. If you look at women, and I've told women about that. I told women about that on my women's channel. I was like, they ain't very deep when they come to what they like. Shit. A good watching one could do it for them sometimes. Seriously, they be looking for the shiny shit on you. So anyway, that's another conversation about style. I got something coming about that next week. So anyway, though, yeah, y'all knows I'm going someplace different. Well, I got a life outside of this and working out, y'all. I got a life outside of all of this. So anyway, it's not parking this motherfucker. I'll get back with y'all. Peace.